What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the most important NYCFC talk show. It's time for the Dudes in Blue, episode number 133. 133 episodes, dude. Here we are after the first round of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Monday night. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm your host, Joe Amato, and alongside me, as always,
Antonino. Dude, what's going on?
Let the airing of grievances begin.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
Dude, we're right back where we always seem to be.
Yeah, just maybe not as bad.
Maybe not as bad. But we got to go to Atlanta. But we got to go to Atlanta. That's the tough thing. So we're going to obviously get into that. Make sure if you guys are just joining the broadcast on Facebook Live to smash that share button right now. Share this with all of your NYCFC friends. Let them know that you're hanging with the Dudes in Blue for a couple minutes. And, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're at Dudes in Blue. Make sure to give us the follow there. Dude, let me do a quick roll call for the first commenters of the episode, and then we'll dive into what we've been talking about for the past 2.5 months. Gare is giving us the wave there. Dave is there. Zoran, Lalo, another David, Christian Smith coming in saying, remember that sanity restoration I had? Yeah, it's gone. Joey's coming in as normal. Dude, this is we got the crew here. We're going to talk some playoff soccer. I don't know how much NYCFC we're going to talk about because there really wasn't too much to talk about other than the fact that they completely blew it. Yeah, we're gonna get there. Let us know in the comments what you thought of the game. And all right, dude. Let's try to get through this. What do you say?
Yes.
Let's fire this thing off. All right. So the lineup was solid. I had no qualms with the lineup whatsoever. Literally the same lineup that we played on Wednesday night against Philly. However, this was no match for an Atlanta side that just had our number, was always a step ahead of us, and we just could not get a damn thing going.
It was by far one of the most Red Bull-esque games we've seen from a team not named the Red Bulls. It really did seem like every pass ended up being picked off by an Atlanta player. Like they knew the playbook, they were 2 steps ahead. And again, that can happen when you play a repetitive style of soccer, where we reverted back to playing out of the back and pushing forward. Working the wings. And these things happen. And a good coach with good tactics knows how to get around this. And unfortunately, it's not something that we have mastered at this point. So very difficult to play against a team that it knows almost every move and pretty much suffocates you for 75% of the pitch. It's just it was really, really, really tough game to watch. And they just had our number the entire time. Kudos to them for doing their homework. Tata for looking into it and just pretty much eating every piece of evidence you can find on how we play and regurgitating a ridiculous game where it seemed like we gave the ball to Atlanta more than we gave it to ourselves.
Yeah, one thing I have to say about Tata Martino was the fact that this was not a typical Atlanta United type of game where they really weren't trying to attack up the middle. They were just launching balls over the top, pretty much the whole game. I mean, they were just going right for it with the long ball, and Christian actually just posted a really good comment. Said the Etihad pitch never looked smaller, and I get that. I totally get that. This was a really well played game by Atlanta. It really was. I mean, this was a team that had a week off. That didn't have to play a match, that got the bye. And that honestly, dude, that's what that bye should get you. That bye should get you time to train, time to rest, time to recoup, time to adjust the tactics and figure out how you're going to play against this team. Sunday's game could be a very difficult, a very different game, I should say. But that being said, Atlanta came to town and completely dominated. I mean, dude, I have to get it out there because this was the most infuriating thing. 90 minutes and we couldn't muster up a single shot on target. 0 shots on target for the entire game is absolutely unacceptable. And that's one thing that I think we should talk about was that I don't necessarily think that was Atlanta, dude. I don't think that us not being able to put a shot on target was so much Atlanta dominating us defensively as much as it was us just being absolute garbage in the final third when we actually finally got into the final third.
Yeah, I think that they did a good job of keeping us out of there for the most part. On some occasions, their defense did come to the rescue. And there's other chances where we just botched, like Mata's wide open opportunity in the beginning of the game. Just wide open, regular, and ball just rolls away. There's things like that when it could be your only opportunity, you have to take it. You have to take them as you get them because they are few and far between come this part of the season. I think part of it was us not playing well offensively, but I'm not going to take away any credit from them because they are, despite a bunch of divey whiners, they are a very, very talented soccer team.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, I think I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, they played a 5 in the back or a 3 in the back with 2 wing backs, if you don't, depending on how you want to look at it, which made it very, very difficult. But my big problem with the attack from NYCFC, dude, was number one, that completely botched shot from Matarrita, who, whatever. But the fact that every single time we had the ball, they were looking for David Villa.
Yeah, they started going backwards.
There was no shooting boots from anybody, really. I mean, nobody stood out to me in the attack that really wanted to go for it. I really felt like that. I felt like this was the most flat. And again, you can give credit to Atlanta here, dude. You can give credit to Atlanta here. But at the same time, this team looked very different on Wednesday night on 3 days of rest than they did today on 3 days of rest. So, it's very difficult for me to put too much of the onus on Atlanta because we just couldn't get it together. I mean, dude, come on, 90 minutes, you can't take a single shot on target. You can't make Brad Guzan work for a minute.
We definitely made it way too easy, and we could make it so much more difficult. But at certain points in games, I think these guys have to look up at the scoreboard and look at the statistics and try to figure out what's missing. Sometimes it's the pass completion percentage or the shots taken or the shots on goal. If you see you have 0 shots on goal, start doing something, even if you're not totally comfortable doing it. If you have an opportunity outside of the box, take a shot and make Guzan work for it. It's going to be helpful. Listen, number one, it could go in, which would be fantastic. But you can cause a rebound, and all of a sudden, the defenders aren't worried about who they're marking. They're worried about getting the ball. So it can lead to a bunch of different opportunities. So if you realize that you're not able to get into the box, you have to figure out another way of getting the ball to the net. You're never going to score unless the ball goes in. You have to get it in somehow. And again, I don't love playing for the tie the first game, but I just felt like nobody was really going for it. It was just, everybody was circling the front door, but nobody wanted to knock, and nobody wanted to really, knock it down and go in. I'm not saying it was lack of effort by any means, but when you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results, it's a little stupid to me. So when something like that's happening, it's on the players and the coach together to realize that, listen, what we're doing is not working. We cannot dribble the ball with 5 defenders on us into the box. We have to either whip it in somehow, or you have to start taking shots outside the box and make them uncomfortable and make them move. Because if you're not moving those 5 guys, they're not giving you any space. And again, getting into that final third was a big, big issue for us.
Yeah. Let me get to a couple comments here, dude. Let's see. Where do I want to even start here? talking about the attack. Anthony saying yesterday made me very sad. Yes, Anthony, us too. Lala was saying, or Philly just sucked that bad and it made us look good. That's definitely a possibility.
Always the possibility.
So Roger is saying that there didn't seem to be a sense of urgency, and I mean, really, this is not a team that plays with a whole hell of a lot of urgency. We've kind of learned that as time has gone on with this side. I don't necessarily think it was an urgency thing. I just think it could just come down to tired legs and playing against a team that was literally just on every single ball. I mean when you have no space to work, and I'm not making any excuses here, because your job as a team is to find the gaps, find the holes, find the places to expose, and be able to muster up at least a shot. But this was this was not good. This was definitely pretty sad. Pretty sad to say the least.
It's just I'm not angry. I'm disappointed that we really couldn't put together a better showing. Defensively, I mean, we did a really good job.
Well, that's where I was going to shift to, dude, because that's where some of the comments are coming from. And
shift it.
There's really not much to talk about, offense-wise, dude, because there really wasn't anything there. The only positive that we can pull out of this game, like we were just kind of teasing at, was being able to effectively shoot down Joseph Martinez and make him almost a non-issue. I mean, Maxime Chanot had absolutely one of the best games I think he's ever had for us. I just feel like, and somebody made a comment earlier, I don't remember who it was. I'd have to scroll back through and see it, but being able to keep Martinez off the ball is great, and it seems like that's all they focused on as a unit. It was like, all right, we're going to make sure that we don't concede to Joseph Martinez, but a guy that has never scored in his MLS career, he's cool. He can get one. He can totally get one. But I think for the most part that they had a pretty good defensive showing, considering this is Atlanta United, who was rested, who's on this, small pitch that we have that could have, that had Miguel Almiron in the first half. They could have done a lot more damage, I think, had it not been for our defense.
Yeah, and they have to know that too. Going into Sunday's game, I think they have to realize that they could have done much, much, much more. But they are playing an opponent that's not going to lay down. We're not going to lay down here. That's for sure. I mean, with a defense like that, and a performance like that, it does give you the hope moving forward. I mean, this could have easily turned into last year or the year before, down by 2, down by 3 right away. And all of a sudden, everything just seems so far away. One goal, the away goal, doesn't seem, insurmountable at this point. But will it be difficult? Absolutely. But if you can play defense the way you played, and really, it just really comes down to focusing on set pieces. We've looked like absolute horse poop and I worked poop in there. It's amazing. And on set pieces the whole year, it's been ridiculous. Whether the stats show it or not, it is horrendous. And Doma said it best. It seems like every set piece leads to a chance. Whether it goes in or not is not the point. It's the fact that the chances are being created, and the ones that are being capitalized on are the ones that are killers. There was nobody at the back post at all. And I'm sorry, but there should be a man standing exactly where that ball ended up going into the net.
Yeah.
And no one there. You had 4 guys in the front post and no one at the back. I don't understand that at all. I don't know why they can't figure that out. I don't know why either Sean Johnson or whoever's on defense can't look back and say, hey, look, none of us are standing over there. And Joseph Martinez is unmarked, by the way.
Well, he was able to get a great shot off, which forced an awesome save. But at the same time, I mean, for naught, because nobody was at that back post, dude. Look, we've seen this time and time again, right? We've seen this time and time again. And whether you agree or you disagree with zonal marking on set pieces, it has caused us more harm than it's done us good.
Yeah, I would think so. I just don't. I don't like it. We've talked about it so many episodes where it's come back and it's again. You could sit there and tell me that well they've given up the same number of goals on corners as other teams. I understand that that's fine, but it's leading to chances, and plenty of times chances can go in. And you want to avoid that. You don't want to keep doing the same. You don't want to keep doing that in hopes that your luck is going to be there to help you out, like it's been there all year. You don't want to bank on that. I think that needs to be really, really worked on, and I would hope that our set pieces get worked on the offensive side because I feel like we have not been able to produce anything from corner kicks this year,
with the exception of Maxime Chanot's goal last Wednesday.
Yeah, but even then, it's just like you don't see any.
Or
We
Sunday.
used to
Was
see.
that Sunday?
I mean that. What was it? What year was it? I think it was 2 years ago where you had. It seemed like every week a different person was scoring on a corner kick, whether it was Jack Harrison or Villa or Callens or Briant. Everybody kind of got in on it. Even to an extent with Tinnerholm in the beginning of the year, I think he had one off a corner kick.
Yeah.
But it's just they got to do better with these free plays. You've got to do better with what they're giving you.
Yeah. Mike from Blue City Radio is coming in saying Chanot's run to stop Martinez at the end of the game was huge. Last year's series was lost by the late goal in Columbus, which is true. This year, in the waning minutes, NYCFC didn't break. Yes, but part of that was, yes, a single effort by Maxime Chanot and a monstrous save by Sean Johnson to deny Atlanta from getting that second away goal. It's tough, man. That's why I say it's a solid-ish NYCFC defense because I don't know, man. I'm sure I wasn't the only one shaken in the 90th minute or the 88th minute, 89th minute when Atlanta seemed to have the front foot. That's for sure.
No.
But, it is what it is. So kudos to our defense for being able to at least keep Joseph Martinez off the score sheet and for Sean Johnson for coming up big, especially towards the end of the game. And, that is that. Now, one of the things that is really outside of NYCFC's control is the fact that the refereeing decision was absolutely garbage. Absolute garbage. MLS referees are garbage. That is what the headline is saying, and that is where I am leaving that.
It's just, and again, I'm not one to make excuses because at the end of the day, we could not put a shot on goal. But
we talked about this earlier, dude. But it has to be addressed.
It is so bad, so bad. Listen, I'm all for that Ben Sweat one. Was it Wednesday against Philly? PK, fine. I agree with you. That is fine. You have to be able to catch everything that is blatant. And I mean, you had Tinnerholm get hands to the face. I think it was Tinnerholm or Ring got. I sent you that GIF earlier, actually. If you can, I don't know if you can find it. Just hands to the face in the box, waiting for a corner, and total, not even a care in the world. I'm sorry that can't go. You have a video review system that is implemented for this reason. And I'm glad it worked on the offside goal because it was pretty clear from where we were sitting that he was offside in the beginning of the game. But you don't be afraid to use it and go for it. I don't know if it's part of the referees don't want to admit they're wrong or you don't want to go to VAR 6 times in the game because you look incompetent, which you are. But I just think the persistent infringement, which was more than likely part of the game plan for Atlanta, because I mean they took it to us. It was rough from the from the
first whistle, sure, yep.
But the amount of time wasting and crying and diving that team does, it is embarrassing. That one play, Miguel Amarone actually took a shot, missed the ball, hit the ground, went down, and then got up and held his arms out like, you're not going to call anything? No one was near him at all. Absolutely embarrassing. There is no need for that. This team is good enough as it is. It doesn't need the referee's help in any way, shape, or form. They are a very solid soccer team. No one's denying that. But when you start doing stupid crap like that, it's just ridiculous. And listen, there literally could have been at least 10 more cards given at that game. I think the ref was a little lenient, which is okay if you want to do that to both teams, that's fine. But it's the blatant stuff that goes on in the box that needs to be addressed because it really costs us what could have been a penalty.
Sure.
And the David Villa bicycle kick. Since when are you allowed to just so you see somebody going for bicycle kick? It has now become okay to just throw yourself on top of them
to draw the foul.
To draw the foul. I don't see that in the rule book anywhere. So you're taking away 2 scoring chances right there, which we ended up putting the ball in the back of the net on that particular play. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. Not using it as an excuse, but if you're using it,
but it's not. It's not that it's an excuse. It's that number one, you're allowing Atlanta to essentially kill the game by going down like a lead balloon every time they kick the ball. It seemed like you're slowing down the pace of play. I want to say there were at least in the first half. I want to say there was like 22 foul calls in the first half. Yeah. So when you're not managing a game and keeping the game flowing as a ref, and it's not like he was. It's not like Kevin Stott was calling, bad fouls. I mean, he was calling just cheap stuff that just shouldn't. Just let it play. Just let the game play out. And when you kill the flow like that in the first half, dude, the game had that first half had zero flow to it whatsoever. That game had zero flow whatsoever. And part of that, dude, I'm telling you, the ref has got a lot to do with that. Forget about the calls that could have. Forget about the calls that could have led to goals on our end. Just talk about the pace of play and keeping the game flowing. From a gameplay standpoint, it was atrocious. It was absolutely atrocious.
And again, too, if you're trying to take control of the game, when you have that many fouls, it is fairly easy for people to get injured. I think Tajuri ended up breaking his wrist. I don't know if it was on a foul or not, but these are things that can happen. And as a referee, it's your responsibility to make sure that you keep the game, not only flowing, but safe. With that many fouls, it's dangerous. And again, Maxi and Herrera are getting manhandled left and right. I think more so Maxi than Yanhel. But, at the end of the day, you got to look out for these players' well-beings, too. If you see a guy constantly getting beat on, you have to help him out a little bit in some fashion. I think he had to be the most fouled player on the field yesterday.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Yeah, Atlanta got 21 fouls called against them. NYCFC 18 fouls, and
both is incredible. But it's just you have no control of the game at that point. Everybody's going in hard, and the referee pretty much lets anything happen.
Yeah, just it just had to be said. I mean, I think it was a poorly officiated game, and that ref should not be allowed to.
Nothing's just be able to do anything anymore.
Shouldn't be allowed to even be the fourth official. Nope. I said I think Silvio Petrescu was the fourth official. I'm like, switch shirts and get out there. Something needs to change because that was just absolutely garbage. And Mike is saying that Tajuri broke his finger, and Maxi was fouled six times. Tommy's asking how many yellows were handed out. There were 5 yellows handed out. 2 to NYCFC, 3 to Atlanta, and I think it could have been more. I think it really realistically should have been more so on Atlanta. They were just manhandling. They were just manhandling us. I mean, there's no way around it. Absolutely no way around it. Dude, I know it's gonna be difficult, or maybe it's not. Let's shift over to the dude of the match because we got. I think more of the conversation is going to be about this coming weekend and what that means and what we can look forward to. So start putting them in the comments, guys. Who was the dude of the match for NYCFC in Atlanta? Dude, who do you got?
I think this one's going to go to Maxime Chanot.
Valid.
I think Sean Johnson can get honorable mention, but I think Chanot is the one who went above and beyond the normal foreseeable duties of a center back.
A lot of Chanot votes coming in.
A fantastic game. Johnson had 2 big saves, but I think when you look at the body of work that that Maxime put in, unbelievable. Just a truly amazing game. And I think if you keep playing like that, there's a lot of people that are going to want you to playing for them. More players need to put that much effort in. And I know it's hard and it's difficult, but when called upon, he has really, really risen to the occasion. Kudos to him. I really enjoy watching him play. Watching him play live yesterday was fantastic. The work he put in was just unreal, absolutely unreal. So he gets my vote.
Yeah, and he gets a lot of other people's votes here, dude, because Coco says Chanel. Coco Chanel.
Ooh.
That's kind of fun to say. David says Chanel for shutting down Martinez. Jason says Chanel. My mom says Chanel, but I think she's biased because I think she secretly loves Maxime Chanel. Miguelito says Chanel. Tommy. Yeah, it's
Is it the first unanimous due to
relatively. I mean, Dave says Alex Ring, but I don't necessarily think Ring had a particularly ringish kind of game. You could definitely make the case for Sean Johnson for keeping it 2-1 goal, for sure. But I think at this point, you kept the Golden Boot winner off the score sheet with tremendous style, and for that, Maxime Chanel, due to the match. Coco is saying, haha, name change incoming.
There you go.
We'll see it on Twitter. All right, dude, plowing ahead here. Let's look ahead to boy. We got to talk about what's going to happen on Sunday, dude, because this is do or die. This is do or die for NYCFC. Now, granted, guys that are tuning in, guys and gals, this is not a horrible position for NYCFC to be in. No. There are far more scenarios that NYCFC can come away with and advance to the conference finals than what we're accustomed to in the second leg of the conference semifinals. But that being said, dude, we're also used to playing that second leg at home and having that home field advantage. So you lose that home field advantage. You're going down to Atlanta to play in front of potentially 72, 73, 75,000 fans in a very loud, very packed Mercedes-Benz Stadium where teams have a tough time going in and getting results. Fortunately, we haven't, knock on wood, we haven't lost there, but it's not going to be an easy place to play. So, like Dave is saying on Facebook, 2-1 and we're through, right? But again, dude, it's going to be really, really difficult. This is going to be very tough for NYCFC to get out of.
I mean, listen, you think it was hard enough getting a shot on goal here, where we used to playing. It's just going to be just as difficult to do it over there.
But dude, hold on, because let's say Atlanta plays the way they played last night on Sunday on a much bigger pitch. The game looks very different because there's a lot more space to exploit for NYCFC.
No, well, if the passes aren't getting to who they're supposed to be, it doesn't matter where you play. You can play in friggin' Yosemite if you want, and Yellowstone Park. It really doesn't make a difference. The passes were not crisp at all. They didn't reach the intended targets most of the time. I'm
trying to be optimistic here.
Listen, there are two types of people going into Sunday. There's season's over people, and we're gonna pull ahead and score the goals needed to go through people. No one's in the middle, and you're right. There are plenty of ways we can get through this, and can it be done? Absolutely. But without the adjustments, the field size alone is not going to make a difference.
But I don't necessarily. But okay, how many adjustments? Like, I don't know. I feel like if we played the way we played Wednesday or last Sunday with that kind of mentality and that kind of game plan and that kind of fortitude on Sunday, I think they can get a result.
Right, but you can't do it. You can't play the way you played against Atlanta.
Right.
You're going to get the same result. You have to. You definitely have to go back to what works. And if something is not working, you have to address it in real time. You can't wait and try to figure it out what's going on. You have to be able to see what's going on ahead of time. If you're not getting shots, if you don't have a shot on goal by the 40th, minute, you really need to rethink what's going on and
Wow.
try to get something on goal. It's again, and turf is another one. Turf is guys get tired so much faster because for anyone who's ever played on turf, you're not really dribbling as much as you are chasing after the ball. The ball rolls with a much higher rate of speed away from you as you're dribbling, and it's a little bit harder to keep up with the ball. Thus, you get tired much faster. I think ball control is going to be a huge part of who wins and loses this game. I think the first touch, if you can keep it close to you, is tremendous. If you let it get a little too far, the amount of roll these balls get on turf is just ridiculous, and there's no way you're going to be able to recover, let alone have enough stamina to finish 90 minutes for a majority of these guys. So for me, big takeaways are same defense, hold. I mean, with the exception of, leaving the back post wide open.
Please don't do that.
And offense, just pepper them. Just rip it. Shoot everybody takes 3 or 4 shots. No excuses at this point. You can't play find the via. We know it doesn't work anymore. It just doesn't work. This team is much better suited when everybody is a scoring threat, not just one man. So we've got to go in there, and everyone's got to be on their A game. Everything's got to be much less sloppy than it was this past weekend. And I don't doubt they have the ability. It's will they have the execution come game day to score the goals needed and not concede. So it's gonna be interesting. I think as far as prediction goes, I'm gonna say that game is going to end up going into extra time. I think that's what it's going to come down to.
How? We win 1-0?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Look, at this point, like I am so not making any predictions here, other than the fact that this is a winnable series just based on the numbers, right? When you look at where we've been in the semifinals in previous years compared to now, this is certainly a much smaller mountain to climb. But that being said, we're going to Atlanta. So we got to remember that. We're going to Atlanta, which, oh, by the way, in case you guys didn't realize, that's an away game where our form has been absolutely atrocious. So I'm erring on the side of caution, but I'm cautiously optimistic. Let's put it that way. I'm cautiously optimistic that we can get a result. We can get a result down there. It's not going to be easy. They're going to have to scrap. They're going to have to fight. But listen, you got a week to recover, right? You got a week to recover. The squad should be healthy by then. And like you said, dude, the passes should be crisper. People should be on point. We should be able to take shots. And I do think that playing on the bigger field is going to make some sort of a difference. And there probably will be some sort of adjustment tactically because of that. But that being said, let's hope Atlanta chokes. That's what I'm hoping for.
That's it. Listen, could very well happen.
It can, dude. One goal aggregate score is really it's really not a lot.
It just ultimately what it does is it just shrinks your margin for error. Really, if you can go in there and keep your errors to a minimum, much like we did yesterday. You really only had one mistake.
You said it, dude. If we have a similar defensive game, but have an actual offense, this is doable.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely. Definitely not saying it can't happen. It very well could happen, and if it does, you should not be surprised.
No
one should be surprised that it can. But again, we're just erring on the side of caution.
I'm not getting terribly excited here, dude.
No, I'm not either. I just want there are so many. You can put all the positive eggs on this side, but then you do have the negative eggs that are still here that are you've got
Why are they eggs?
I don't know why I went with
Like,
eggs.
dude, why the frick
I
are
don't
they
want to put
eggs?
all my eggs in one basket.
I
You can't put the
I
negative
don't
eggs and
know if
positive
that.
eggs in the basket, man. Listen, you can't put the you can't think about the positives without thinking about the negatives. The negatives are very much realistic, and they're road form being one of them. The fact that you just lost to these guys and they know your game plan very well. So you've got to take all this into consideration, and it's okay to be excited. And either way, I think either result that happens, you just shouldn't be surprised. Anything can go. I just don't think at this point you're going to end up watching a game and go, "Wow, I can't believe that just happened." Um, I think it's so evenly matched. It's ridiculous.
All right, dude. Let's
Who's making fun of my eggs?
let's move
Huh?
on from this. I'm reading. I'm reading the comments. This is fantastic. Coco, no, this is good, dude. This is for you're gonna like this, dude. Coco says Anthony's analogies are my favorites. Then she says Anthonalogies trademark.
Oh, we write a book about them. That's
Mike
it.
Anderer says Anthony's eggs are out of the frame, and then Christian said we need a Dudes in Blue eggs shirt. Forget about the pretty pineapples, ladies and gentlemen. We now have excellent eggs.
Oh my goodness.
That's it. We're retiring the pretty pineapple shirt, and we're going to excellent eggs. There you go, guys. Listen, let's wrap up this show with a little playoff recap here, dude. Because guess what? There were 3 other matches that were played yesterday. First, let's talk about our friends, our frenemies across the river. They lost 1-0 to Columbus. Now,
good.
It is. But Columbus still has to go to Red Bull Arena and get a real result, which is going to be tough for them. That's going to be a very exciting game to watch.
As opposed to a fake result? They have to get a real result, not a fake one.
They are about as real as your eggs, dude. This is getting out of hand.
These huevos.
John, see, look, I'm trying to talk like MLS Cup playoff soccer here, and in the comments, all people are talking about are the damn eggs. Jonathan is saying, excellent shirt for an Easter game. This is unbelievable.
There you go. That's it.
Oh, my God. Unbelievable.
Dudes in Blue Easter special.
There you go. So Red Bulls lost to Columbus, which was that was great. I watched the first half at home, and then I listened to the second half on the way down, and I got very excited when Jazzy Zardes scored that goal. All because of...
Yeah, beautiful goal. I mean, Higuain, what a little David Villa-esque back heel, and a wide, just you couldn't ask for a more beautiful scenario to bury one home. It just wide open and pick your spot and shoot your shot.
Yeah, no, dude, 100%. Portland coming away with the win over Seattle. Seattle went up early, and then Portland equalized, and then later took the lead. Which that was a pretty exciting game. I was listening to that one also on the way down to the city, but sucks for Seattle, man. 2 major players that had to come off. I believe it was Chad Marshall and Roldan. I believe are the 2 major. I know it was definitely Chad Marshall, but anyway, very very tough for Seattle going into the second leg. But they are going to be playing at home, so it'll be a little bit different. That was a very exciting match. And then finally, RSL and Sporting tying at 1. I don't know, man. Just I feel like this could have been a lot more of an exciting weekend, and it really wasn't. This weekend should be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's more of that decision day mentality moving forward. But again, all these teams are very hardworking. They're very they have been enjoyable to watch for a majority of the season. I think the Portland-Seattle series is great because you've actually got rivals meeting in the playoffs where it's just everything is escalated that much more. And let me tell you, those fans do not like each other just as much as Red Bull fans and NYCFC fans don't like each other. That's a great rivalry up in the Northwest and really fun to watch. In Kansas City, I for some reason I really enjoy the way they play year after year. They're always near the top, and they're never like they're never. It's not like super controversial for me. It's always like them quietly doing their job. Just they get it done every year, and they don't. It's never crazy outside the box where somebody's scoring 60 goals or something like that, or somebody's got a shutout streak. They're a very good team year after year. It's just really fun to watch. Not a lot of games going on, but you do have the ones that you are all great quality. And again, that goal from Zardes was just awesome, and it just shows you how exciting the sport can really be.
Oh, dude, 100%, 100%. So, I think, dude, probably the last thing we talk about here is, and let us know in the comments, guys, what you think. First of all, Mike Anderer is saying one of the 2 Red Bulls losses at home came to Columbus. So hopefully, I want to see that again. But let us know in the comments, guys, because. Oh, wait, hold on. I do have to say this. This is kind of delicious. Joey is saying that they, meaning Sporting Kansas City, are getting it done with Kyrie Shelton. However, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Kyrie Shelton has only scored 2 goals all season for Sporting Kansas City. And it's Kyrie Shelton. But there's something, but he does something. There's something he does on the field. I don't know what it is.
Listen, Kyrie Shelton can go further with Sporting Kansas City than he did with NYCFC ever. So,
unbelievable.
I guess it doesn't matter how many goals you score.
Yeah. It's just very, 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 very interesting. But let us know in the comments, guys, what you think right now. Who do you want NYCFC to face off against if in fact they do get the result that they need down in Atlanta and they advance to the conference finals? Do you want to see them go up against the Red Bulls in a 2-legged monster of a Hudson River Derby? Or do you want a replay of last year's semifinals in Columbus? Who do you guys feel more comfortable with on this? Dude, we got...
This is probably one of the harder questions as a fan that you can answer, because your 2 sides to it are the winning and the losing. If you beat them, it is so sweet. It's like just be like lemon tuna fish. It's just wonderful.
It's just like eggs and
baskets. No, it's really it's that portion of it makes it's just so exciting. But the losing portion of it is just as bad in the opposite direction. You would love to be able to dish out that trash talk for an entire year, but you do not want to have to deal with it for.
You don't want to be on the receiving end of it.
You don't want to be on the end of it. It's just not. So ultimately, that I think is what most fans that would not want to play them would say. It's not because of the matchup necessarily. Sometimes it is just because the winning would be phenomenal, but the losing would just be atrocious.
Yeah.
And people kind of want to avoid that.
I take Columbus, dude. I really do, because I like our chances with Columbus. I do. I just do.
I mean, we played them pretty tough last year, and we played them decently this year. And they're a good team, still a formidable opponent. By no means are they a pushover, but are they beatable? Absolutely.
They got to this point, so. I just don't want Zach Steffen in goal, because dear God, man,
so good.
Not only
so good.
I have to comment on Zach Steffen here, because not only did he stop 2 penalties, both on DC United's arguably 2 best players in Wayne Rooney and Luciano Acosta in PKs, but he also stopped Bradley Wright Phillips' game-tying goal in the dying seconds of the match last night. I mean, dude, the kid is he's unbelievable.
Yeah, you're talking about someone who's going to get looks from a lot of different leagues when his contract is up.
And he's young.
Which might be soon. But you for me, in my opinion, you're looking at one of the future men's national team keepers as a number one. Just so solid. And I didn't really notice it.
23 years old.
I don't think I really noticed it until we played him last year when he stopped David Villa.
A couple times that game.
At City Field, yeah. He stopped the PK. Just an unbelievable keeper with again, not the biggest dude in the world. Definitely not. I don't think he's as big as Sean Johnson physically, but the skill and the athleticism is unreal with him. Just kudos to him. He's a fun keeper to watch.
Yeah, 100%. Well, this weekend is definitely going to be this is definitely going to be an exciting weekend. I mean, this is what determines who goes home and who continues on, right? I'm just going to pull up the schedule here. Dude, any final thoughts before we put this one to bed? No, huh?
No.
We need a better performance from NYCFC. That's it. Like
ultimately. That's what it comes down to.
That's really what it comes down to. So, here's what's interesting. So I say this weekend, but Portland and Seattle play Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, and the reason for this, by the way, is because of a car show that's happening at CenturyLink Field. So,
and we get crap
for the Yankees,
and you have a car show going on. Prior commitments. Let me tell you something. The MLS scheduling is not only TV purposes atrocious, but when you're conflicting with other events, like does this
it's
event
a car
not show? But even then, like, do you not realize when the playoffs are that you don't book these things near each other? Like, is it that difficult? How difficult is it to move a car show? Were the Sounders
that bad? Like at the beginning of the season, that they were like, it's not happening. It's not happening.
A car show. Damn car show.
A car show, yeah. So anyway, that's happening Thursday night, guys. So set your alarms because it's a 10:30 kickoff. Then Sunday is the day to be glued to your television. 3 o'clock Sporting in RSL, 5 p.m. NYCFC Atlanta, and 7:30 Red Bulls Columbus. I am not leaving my couch for 6.5 hours.
That's it.
So that's pretty much what's going to happen. So, hey, thank you guys so much for spending some time with us for episode 133. It's unfortunate that we couldn't have this on better terms because of, the crap that happened last night. But, hey, it happens. We're in a decent spot. Positive vibes being sent out to NYCFC. Please do something. Do whatever you guys got to do. I'm going to see if I can tap into JoJo's good juju, see if he still has any of that stuff left. But we will be pulling for a great result for NYCFC.
Check the sippy cups.
The what?
Check his sippy cups.
I'll check. I know, seriously. Make sure to give us the follow. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're at Dudes in Blue. Thank you guys for watching on Facebook. We really do appreciate you guys spending all this time with us. And Christian Smith, the final thought for this episode tonight, dude. His final thought is we need an excellent performance on Sunday. Dude, that just about does it. Thanks for...
Am I ever going to be able to live this down?
No, you... Why eggs?
Anyway, I don't know.
It was great. We need to incorporate a different kind of food.
Listen, yolks on me.
But that's okay. We'll be back Monday night for episode 134. Win, lose. Those are our options, guys. But until then, thank you guys so much for joining us, and as always, stay blue.
Stay blue.